The animals, trap, trap, trap till the cages fall. The cages fall, the day is new, and everyone is waiting, waiting on you, and you've got time. Think of all the roads, think of all their crossings. Taking steps is easy, standing still is hard. Remember all their faces, remember all their voices. Everything is different the second time around. And you've got time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
I begin by saying that it's been a year of harmony and very good fun and occasional work. So here's an example of the kind of thing I would be asked. Do you see those Kit Kats in your office? Can I have one when I'm having a really bad day? How would you manage a student loan or a mortgage? Can I borrow your stapler, your tissues, safety pins, sellotape, pens? Could you just take a wee look over my personal statement?
56 pupils asked me to do that.
What about your tights? Are they very expensive? They look at this. What is most likely to cause the end of the universe? Can you email the B rooms and just let them know I'm up here with you? How would you prefer to die? That, I think, sums up to some extent the random nature of this year's upper sixth, but a year that has been full of great fun, and I would be very sad to say farewell to you all in a few short weeks.
So, back in first year, me and Claire had a really big crush on the older boys. And I loved Johnny McLaughlin and I loved Roger. Yeah, so my brother was in their year and we got their number. And we called them a good few times. And then one day, they found me in my phone, me and Emily Cassie on my phone. And we were hiding like behind science, and all of them came round and kind of find us. No, they did. And then we ran all the way around to the old blue container. Yeah, we're telling a story.
My favourite memory in Dalriada is that time after 7 years I finally got compliment off Mr. Bradley.
Or mine would be the time Mr. Docherty called Mr. Breeden Jerry Adams' love child.
Okay. My favourite memory of Dalriada is when Esther walked home from school in first year with her skirt tucked into her tights.
My favourite memory would be all the stupid stuff Leah says in the lunchroom. Like, if we left the EU, we'd be the only country without a continent.
My favourite memory from Dalriada is our first year form room whenever we would play music out the speakers from Gage's DS and throw things out the window like an orange peel which hit Mr. McGavock.
All the best, sixth form. I hope you do really well in your chosen courses and directions. And my favourite memory from this year is probably blowing away on the trombone at Ravenhill during the semi-final of the rugby.
The time that I hit Mr. Skilton on the head with a lunchbox. Hoggy and the old squad. The time Louise crashed her car into a lorry at the Oklahoma after party. And when David sung Radio Gaga in the first year talent show.
My favourite memory is Rome. That's it. I haven't been here that long.
My favourite memory is meeting Terry for the first time in 7 years that I've known him.
Boom, boom.
What is this for? You're all very special. Miss you lots. Bye.
My favourite memory is when Mark Young attempted to murder me by running me over.
Okay, what am I going to miss most about this year group? Well, first of all, I have to say I actually am genuinely going to miss this year group. I seem to have taken an awful lot of the same people through from year 11 right to year 14, and I have enjoyed nearly all of it. My form class for the last 2 years have been super, and I will really miss them in the mornings. The crack was good. They didn't give me too much trouble with anything. Certain things do stand out across the course of the year. The Rome trip was very good with this particular bunch. People like Leah, who I have to mention because she said that I had to mention her, particularly the night she dressed up as me at the social, was obviously the highest form of flattery that anybody could imagine. Emma Glenn crying about everybody in upper sixth history. All the girls in my upper sixth history class, of whom there were something like 20 out of 24, like looking at me with like the big eyes every time you set them a homework or wanting to do some work or something like that. But overall, I will just remember the fun. It was really good crack across the 2 years with all 3 of my sixth year classes. So all the best, folks, for the future, and I hope it all works out for you.
We don't have time for memories.
Right, bye guys, it's been a pleasure.
Thanks very much, you've been a great bunch of people.
Mowing, lifting, sewing, baling, drawing, hauling, a bucker, raking, backing, stacking, plowing, crashing, tip.
This is filming. La, so, do, re, mi, fa, so, la, ti, do. My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, Commander of the Armies of the North, General of the Felix Legions, loyal servant to the one true Emperor, Marcus Aurelius, father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, and I will have my vengeance in this life or the next. Aloha Bar!
Oh, hello. We didn't see you there.
So, one of my favourite memories of Dalriada is the time in, I think it was second year, whenever Katie, Pierce and Gavin sprayed deodorant in Madame Ram's room, and we all pretended we had asthma and had to go outside so that we could not be in class. So Madame Ram proceeded to walk us around the whole school to try and find a classroom for us to sit in. Several times, yeah. So that's one of my favourite memories. And also the times we used to hide in Mr. McGavick. Many, many times as well. Those were good times.
I think my favourite memory was also in second year, whenever we had Miss Williamson for science. and she was going around lighting the Bunsen burners with the splints. And what you had to do, you had to have your gas on ready for her to do it. But whenever she was coming over, one of the splints didn't light. But Alexander Harding did not turn off his gas whenever she was lighting a new one, and as it turned, it took her a while. So she lit it, and the gas had been going on for ages, and it pretty much nearly blew her up. It was quite amusing. Her reaction was not happy.
My favourite memory of Dalriada is a couple of months ago. When Katie and I were sitting in the library, Katie leant over and whispered to me,
"Goodbye."
Katie leaned over and whispered, "I once pooed in the side of the road in Cornwall."
Bad times when Angus, he has the big blister on his hand, the size of one's eyeball, and what's he going to do? He knocks me over the head with his hand, and the full iron thing burst over my whole face. So I had some nice blister juice all over my face.
That is when we were in dinners, and the dinner ladies decided to give us a white lot of cake, and we all had about 5 pieces each. And afterwards, Matthew McConaughey and Chris Fielding couldn't hack it, so they went and booked it all up.
I can't think of it.
Gonna miss getting beaten by Lockhart. Lockhart was beating me and Bingham up all the way through our younger years, and then went older, then I started beating Bingham up.
I'll miss Harriet Moore and her pizza waffles. She will love Big Treat forever.
I know what I'm going to miss as well. Being really good at rugby.
Yeah, Bingham is quality. You never got your first 15 cap.
Ron McNeil did.
Ron McNeil got the first 15. Yeah.
I missed my chance at a blue tie, but here, you know what? It doesn't matter.
Next year, Bingham.
Oh, I'll miss Pro Class with the same thing like Ben and Al Montgomery. He'll also be here next year, I think.
No, he's going to tag.
Heyo.
Nah, just miss it all.
Yeah, everything.
It'll be sad to
Enjoy.
I'm here 13 and you're here 12, 10? You've definitely been the best. And you know the best thing about you is that you've decided this year not to do any pranks on us, and that you said that you would. Isn't that right? Ah, you did say that.
Whenever we threw paper at Kate and the CNHE, I got it stuck in my hair.
My favourite memory was when Kate Kirkpatrick took part in the swimming gala and she did the individual medley but she couldn't swim.
I always remember the time that Stephen Maguire, right here, I went into the wrong classroom for RE, I believe, and he stayed there for like an hour and 15 minutes, and he just sat there and no one noticed.
I sat there for the full 2 periods.
Yeah.
My favourite memory of Dalriada was when I walked to 1500 metres and set the record, and 5th year lunchtimes in English.
My favourite memory is clearly Sporty Dogs with Mr. Devlin in 3rd year PE.
Okay, my favourite memory at Dalriada was the time that Zoe moonwalked backwards down the English corridor into Dr. Walker. Go demonstrate. Yeah.
Welcome to Northern Ireland. That's our culture.
Championships, which is quite a big thing for me. And Susie pushed Andrew on the stairs outside the RE rooms near the library, and Susie pushed Andrew and Andrew fell and pushed me and landed on top of me and went like, or rode me like a surfboard down the stairs. And I bruised all my shins the whole way up, and Andrew was crying because he hurt his
But
hand.
you won the next day, you won the next day.
But I won, yeah.
You won first in Ulster anyways.
Timmins is a memory. Oh, Miss Timmins is a memory. And then
Mr.
another one was right here in this place, Catherine and
Harriet Gaston. My favourite memory was when Harriet Gaston punched me in the face. It was amazing.
Well, yeah. She didn't really punch you, remember? You smashed her head off the ground.
No, I didn't.
She didn't.
It was an accident. I didn't do it.
And then her dad was going to come in.
She was going to come into the school.
But it was funny. Harriet Gaston was a memory of ourselves.
She was a memory.
She was good fun.
Another favourite memory would be our favourite game in, what was it, 2nd year, 3rd year? At lunchtime when we would go out.
4th year, 5th year as well.
5th year. And we would whip each other with sticks from the trees. Yeah.
When we went to lunch on the power strip, Emily had a great fish and got food poisoning and booked the whole way home. And I had to rub her back and hold a bag while she booked me. Oh yeah, when you got your hair permanent in 4th year and you looked like King Billy for about 4 months. That was my favourite memory.
My favourite memory at Dalriada is when Hannah ran into a tree.
Tinted car cost $300,000 and I blow endo in it. You mad cause your daughter fuck with me on spring break? Well, I'ma fuck her till the spring break.
Roll another one cause I'm winning. In my photo, looking real photogenic. Gentleman attire in threads that won't expire. I'm in the class of my own, my teacher got fired.
Came right at the end when I met Arlene Foster. Myself and Matthew Curran, we managed to get into the welcome party, and had my arm around her. Yeah. And Aaron, come here. Come here, just come here. Just come here, just come here.
I'm not going in solo.
No. Cross-community relations have been also a highlight. Yeah, no. Thank you.
It's lunchtime, so touch rugby outside.
I'm going to miss Ravenhill and Stephen Bingham. Really miss Stephen Bingham and Aaron and all the rest of them.
I'm going to miss general banter with the lads and having the chats in the stories. I'm going to be missing it.
My favourite memory of Dalriada is me and Lucy Buick.
My favourite memory has to be Mr. Gamble's opinion of Richard in the dying weeks of upper six. when Richard was off for about a week straight, Mr. Gamble asked us, come on guys! I'm not doing it.
My favourite memory at Dalriada is in 3rd year when Mrs. Johnson took us down to the hockey pitches to have dizzy dummy 100-metre races.
My favourite memory is probably yesterday when we tied up the head prefects and just threw a pile of crap at them.
My least favourite memory of Dalriada is when my mates started going out with my sister.
My favourite memory of Dalriada is the All-Ireland Final 2016. Let's go boys!
My favourite memory from sixth form is listening to Lucy Boyd's stories about her boyfriends and starting when this is talking. And she taught us all how to get our flirt on. Yeah, so Claudia in particular especially enjoyed all my stories about all of my men. All four. Should I add? So really the message out there is to all the boys in our year. Lucy is in high demand, so if you want me, you're going to have to fight for me. Yes. Yeah.
Belgium hockey tour. Also the dream team back four with Emma, Rebecca and Bronwyn.
One of my favourite memories is definitely our time with Wallen. Yeah. And the time I met Arlene was one of the highlights of my life.
Pushing this little button out the window on the ski trip and making her go over her ankle. Helen thought I gave her pink eye on the Boston ski trip. I strongly didn't.
My favourite memory is probably being like when I was really, really tall in like 1st and 2nd year, and now I'm like not. Yeah, I'm not anymore, like we're nearly the same height. Like in 1st, 2nd and 3rd year, we used to go downtown to Korea on a Friday and like and worry loads about having to pay for the bus and stealing people's bus passes to get on the bus. And
so rebellious.
Skipping the last period to go to the toilet to put our makeup on and roll up our skirts.
So on the night of the formal, we were all just finishing getting ready, and Sarah went outside to get some alcohol, but my mum said, "Why are you letting the cat?"
So on the night of the formal, we were staying at Ruth's and we went outside to get some alcohol out of the car, and then Ruth's mum came in and says, "Were you letting the cat in?" And Vicky was like, "Yeah, sure." And then when she left, Vicky was like, "Very strange looking cat that is."
That was the weirdest way of telling the story.
When Ruth fell in a bog and took a bath.
Just to wish you well, year 14. You were a brilliant year group, and it's a bit of a nightmare what you did to my car yesterday, but it seems to be a bit of a Dalriada tradition now, so I wish you all the best in the future and good luck in your respective courses.
My favourite memory of Dalriada is all the memories of Moe, Bessie and Emily.
Playing outside at lunchtime in like younger years, 1st to 3rd year, was my favourite memory.
My favourite memory was the semi-finals, Schools Cup. Just the crowd was pretty cool.
You have too many to mention, but I have endless Ben Lyle memories of him moving very, very slowly through my house in various states of undress. The lovely Matthew Lockhart and Aaron and Angus, who have been together since they were 3 months old. Logan McLean and Mark Young were doing coursework, and a certain now retired biology teacher was helping them with some field work. Mr. Davidson was there, I was there, And I witnessed Logan McLean squirting water through a pipette down Mark Young's shorts, down a little channel, and Mr. Davidson had a quite large freak out.
My favourite memory was watching Angus Johnson get his head shaved.
My favourite memory was meeting all the people I like in school.
One of the funniest moments for me in Dalriada was when Miss Bowie asked Kate in German what the worst problem in the third world was, and she answered Verhütungsmittel, which she thought meant starvation, but in fact that actually meant contraception. So we all had a good laugh about that.
At Dalriada, there was so many good things. I have really enjoyed the hockey chair and playing in the orchestra, and so many things, like the time I hold GCSE music class, hid in the music office from Mrs. Montgomery and Mr. McGallagher. It's very funny.
I have loved Dalriada. I love the music, and I really enjoyed GCSE actually. Even though I set a saucepan on fire, that was always fun. Yeah, I've just really loved my time here and will be really sad to leave.
And thank you for the memories.
Thank you. Right, class of 2016. I had to look down to check that. Here are some of my memories. It's really not fair to pick individual people out, but there are some things that get seared onto your mind, and no matter how hard you try to forget them. So here's some of the things that have seared into my mind. Andreas in a toga, which he put on in the class in front of everybody. William McMullen did a PowerPoint in Key Stage 3. I think it was some historical thing about kings and queens, but I mainly remember it being about toilets and dying of horrible diseases and horses. Rachel Kennedy and Kate Kirkpatrick are kind of on my radar in there as a kind of CU double act who kept me on the straight and narrow this year, and that was lovely. Aaron Christie, I don't know what that's about, but he's in there in a kind of threatening, dark kind of way, and that was long before Oklahoma came his way. Rachel Hastings, who in year 8 entered the Wreath Cup, which is like the whole school debating competition, entered the Wreath Cup and took on everybody in the 6th form and got through round after round. And I remember watching her in one of the English rooms as a wee tiny year 8 person, taking on the likes of David Kane and some of our masters, and beating them and continuing to do that. Fergal, there's a love-hate kind of a thing with Fergal. So that leaves Jonathan. And it has been a pleasure to have been part of your Dalriada experience, all of you, and Jonathan in particular. And I hope when you look back that it feels good to think of the word Dalriada and to think of this little kingdom here that you get to be a part of for the rest of your lives. So thank you, class of 2016, and thank you, Jonathan, and cheerio, bye.
So thank you and best wishes. Okay.
Baker. but never. Are immune to your shame you've left us up to back.